Hi.
Hello.
Hi.
What are your names?
I'm Marco.
Ladies first.
Yeah, ladies
Yeah.
first.
Gabriella, Ramsey.
Gabriella Ramsey.
All right, I'll finish the sentence. All right, go ahead. Next. Marco
I'm
Ramsey.
Marco Ramsey.
And who are your parents?
Karen and Harvey Ramsey.
There you go. All right. And what has your mom written? She's written a few books.
Yeah, she's written 2 books. She's written a book called Creating Healthy Children.
Creating Healthy Children. And
And another book, 115 raw food recipes.
Raw recipe fun for families.
Yes.
awesome. Okay, so clearly you guys look really fit and in shape, and you look really good. And you were brought up on what exactly? Explain. And I want to hear all the mistakes made too. Don't be afraid to list the mistakes. It's fine, and because you came back full circle, so
Yeah.
it's realistic TV.
So when I was about 5 and Marco was like 2.5, 3, that's when my mom first got into raw foods. Before that, vegetarianism has been in my family for multiple generations, and my mom was a junk food vegetarian for a long time, eating cheese doodles and whatever, and she thought she was healthy, but she still had a lot of health issues. And when my brother was born, he was actually pretty sick when he was born, still eating a vegetarian diet. And so as we were growing up, she learned about veganism, she did the macrobiotic diet and a lot of other things. And then when I was, like I said, when I was 5 and Marco was about 3, she found raw foodism. And it was, at the time, it was, kind of more the higher fat, gourmet kind of raw food. But she transitioned over, and my brother and I, at the time, we were just following her around, and we just ate whatever she gave us and didn't really question anything. We were also homeschooled, and so I think that in some ways that allowed her to kind of just feed us whatever, and that we weren't really affected by the mainstream.
Mm-hmm.
How old are you now?
I'm 27.
And you're 24? Okay.
Yeah. And then it's my journey anyway. We were pretty much like 99% raw. Sometimes we would go out to a vegan potluck or something, and maybe go to a friend's house occasionally and eat something cooked. But mainly in the house, we were 100% raw. And then as I started to get older, I started to become really interested in what all my friends were eating. I wanted to experiment.
Your friends that were homeschooled, or?
Yeah, both homeschooled and friends who went to school, and just started to get out more. Do more things out in the community, like hang out with some more mainstream friends who ate a standard diet. I remember like trying candy and stuff for the first time, just being tantalized by all the tastes and the flavors and textures that I'd never experienced before.
Did they think you were weird, or try to, get you to eat stuff that you weren't used to eating?
In a way, yeah.
That happens to my kids.
Yeah, definitely. They were like, "Oh, don't you want to try this?" Like, my friend would always, he would like make me eat all like the yellow Skittles and stuff.
How did they know? How did they know that you were eating a different diet? Did you tell them right away, or did they see it at your house, or did you try to even feed them fruit and they were like, well, why don't we have real food? Did you ever have anyone over for dinner? These are questions I have asked.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, my mom has always maintained our house as vegan. She won't let really any dairy or meat into the house. So, when kids would come over, I think they would just, kind of take in like what we were all eating, and people were generally pretty open, like when we would have dinners and stuff. Would
you promote it?
I wouldn't say at the time I was necessarily promoting it. It was just more of like just what we were eating. It was very natural to me. Like
okay.
I didn't really question it.
Okay.
Until later.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, I was the same way. I kind of just ate whatever was put in front of me. I was a pretty easygoing kid in that regard. So even when I would go to my friends' houses and they didn't eat the same way, and my mom knew that, she would pack me a lunch, and I would usually be fine with that. But as I did grow over, I became more curious, and I'd be going to my friends' houses, and I'd be trying new things there, and they would definitely try and push some things on me too whenever they hear that I've never tried something before. They'd be like, "Oh my God, you've never tried that? You have to try this candy.
Never had Doritos?
This dessert."
What is it? What is it about humans that we have to have them try exactly what we like? It's amazing. Even though they know you were thriving and you were fine with what you had. It's amazing, right?
Yeah, it's just so weird to them. I think it's just whenever somebody is different from you, I don't know, you feel like it's...
Well, in their mind, they're not
almost the
hurting
wrong
you.
way.
They're trying to, you know, it wasn't like a drug deal. It was they weren't they weren't pushing the drugs that they thought it was a drug, but they were trying to get you to like get as excited about food as they were. You didn't. Did you get excited about food when your mom put food on the table as kids?
Oh,
I mean, we've
Definitely.
always, like, we love fruit. I mean, we love fruit. Like, who doesn't love fruit? Like, when your mom chops up a mango and a bowl of blueberries, you're like, yeah, like, even mainstream kids love fruit.
Right.
Even when I was younger, I was eating like so many bananas that my mom thought I was eating like too many bananas. at
Really?
stage. Yeah, and she like tried to cut me off a little bit.
Really?
Yeah, so
She did. She was like, I'm concerned.
Yeah.
You're just eating way too many bananas.
So we've always had a love for fruit, and that's something that I've realized, even with all my friends, is that kids always love fruit.
Right.
You'll never, at least I've never met a kid that doesn't like fruit.
They don't really turn it down. Maybe vegetables,
and the green
yeah.
Stuff,
Yeah.
Not so much, but
Yeah.
the fruit they
Yeah,
they
if
do
there's
love.
if it's summertime and there's pineapple and there's watermelon, I mean, oh my God, you'll just
Yeah.
go crazy for that stuff. And who wouldn't? It's fresh and it's so much
Delicious.
water content and it's sweet and it's nourishing and it just feels amazing, especially in the summertime, which is, you know, a lot of people could say is, you know, humans' natural climate is in the tropics, so it just makes sense.
So what? So if you guys could go a little bit curious, then what should the mainstream people feel like? That they shouldn't feel so let down that they could go on and off and keep coming back to it. I keep coming back to it because I know I feel better, and I know it's really the best way to eat. But what about the mainstreamers that feel like they're failing, and they come so far and then they self-sabotage or they feel like failures? What would you say to them?
I think a lot of the time people put too much pressure on themselves. Even people that are really into raw foods,
Totally.
even people that eat so much raw foods, they'll stress about, you know, eating an avocado one time or eating too much fat or eating some olive oil or some vinegar or some salt. But I think that a lot of the times the stress that you put on yourself is a lot worse than the food that you're eating. That's what I've realized, and I just try and, you know, if you go off a little bit and you fall off the wagon, so what? You know, you can jump back on it, and it's really just listening to your body, and your body will tell you what it feels good eating, and you will always come back to what makes you feel best.
So your mom was basically really being patient with you. If she wasn't being patient, do you think that... I know, that's a
she
loaded
wasn't always
question.
patient.
I understand.
You know,
but I'm
she
saying
definitely-
but that might have kept you off longer because of the non-patience.
Definitely. I think kids have that attitude too. It's like, you know, oh, whatever my mom says, I'm going to go do the
Yeah.
exact opposite thing. And, you know, as far as people falling off and, you know, maybe going off for a while and then coming back, you know, it's like each day is a new day.
Right.
And like what he said, I think that the guilt is the worst thing.
Yes.
The guilt will kill you.
Yeah.
And it's like, rather than self-sabotaging yourself and being like, and that mentality of like, oh, I already went off, so I might as well go more off.
Right.
And more off.
Right.
It's like, no, you went off a little bit, so,
Yeah.
you know.
And it's also about just
Steer yourself
focusing
back
on
on.
and giving yourself credit. You know, you could focus on, you know, the salt you had or some bread that you had, or you fell off the wagon a
Right.
little bit and you had that, or you could concentrate about, wow, I just ate like a ton of papayas in the morning. I had a huge salad. I had
Yeah.
all these good things that I'm putting into
Right.
my body, and you can concentrate on that too. I think people
Great
beat
advice,
themselves
yeah.
up a little too much and don't give themselves enough credit for, especially for like, you know, you could talk about how much avocado you're eating, and it's all
Yeah.
perspective. It's like there's people that are just saying, you know, I feel really good. I didn't have any
Yeah.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream today. I did a really good job.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
you're saying, oh, I had avocado. I'm a horrible person.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
all perspective.
yeah.
And I don't think people give themselves enough credit for eating a lot of raw fruits and vegetables.
So what would you say to those people that maybe feel like uncomfortable around vegans that are kind of judging them, and when they go off the diet, they feel like they're so judged that they almost don't feel like they're welcome back to this group? What would you say to them? Get
I
over
would say
it. Get over it.
try not to care as much about what other people think, and just do it for yourself. That's what's taken me a while, because my mom was so passionate about raw foods, and she knew, and she was so certain about how amazing this diet was, and how great it is for your body, and how it can cure diseases and make you and fulfill your potential. You know, be happy every day and be energetic and just loving life. That she wanted us to have that all the time because she experienced that, and she kind of put it on us a little too much sometimes, to the point where we wanted to rebel, and we weren't interested in it as much as she did, and we didn't really get the same out of it, because she knew it because she really wanted to do it, and she learned about it for herself, and she realized that on her own, while we were just taking it because that's what she told us. Recently, I've been doing it for myself the last few years, and I've discovered that, and I feel so much better doing it now. And now it's a lifestyle that I could really see myself continuing forever. So I think doing it for yourself is the most important part, and not worrying about what other people think.
Great advice. What would you say to your own children? How would you bring them up? Would you do what mistakes could you learn from that? I know you two support each other, and you're kind of like parents to each other at this point, because you're really very flexible and you both understand each other. And I've noticed, being with you for 2 days, that you guys are just both very supportive of no matter what decision you both make. You're not judgmental over it, which is great. So you'd parent the same exact way, I take it.
Yeah, definitely. And I think to answer your question from before, is like, there's this whole thing in the vegan movement of like, we're trying to protect the lives and save the lives of animals and to be compassionate people towards the animals, but I see a shortage of extending that compassion to other people who are not vegan, and that, to have respect for everybody's diet, and that if somebody isn't vegan right now, that we can love them anyway and accept them for who they are, and that we don't need to put our mentality on top of them, that it's our job to really just live as an example and be there if people want to ask questions or are interested, and then to leave people and not just
let them be. Let them experiment. Yeah, let them experiment.
Everybody has had different experiences. Right. Everybody is doing it for different reasons, and everybody's experiencing different things in life.
And they come to it differently.
It's really easy to judge people through your experiences, but everybody else lives their own lives, and everybody, you just hope that everybody does the best that they could do.
Yeah, I think that also as a parent, I like to incorporate a lot of fruits around the table, that they become used to it. Certain cultures become used to their culture, like Mexicans love rice and beans because it's always around, so they're familiar with it, and when they get older, they still come back to their childhood. So if you have a lot of produce around, because I had a lot of produce around as a child, so thank God. I really do love produce, but it was always around.
My mom did a great job of that. If you just have a huge fruit bowl in the middle of like the kitchen table all the time, and I was a really active kid, and I was running around all the time, so instead of coming in and like making a sandwich or something, I'd come in and grab like a few apples or something, or a banana, and just keep going.
Yeah,
that's what my mom talks about. She's like, buy beautiful pictures of fruits and hang them all
over
the walls.
Yeah,
you should see our kitchen,
and like big bowls of ripe fruit, always accessible.
Yes, I believe that.
Kids want something grab and go that's fast.
Yeah,
so that's what
well, it's vibrant, it's attractive. I think we were naturally attracted to it anyway, and when they have fake fruit. They have fake fruit that people put on the table because it's so pretty. It's artwork.
True.
And if you were to have fruit around as pictures, I look at Instagram and I get very excited when it's like food porn.
Definitely.
I get excited to eat fruit when I see pictures of fruit. It's true. It's good visualization. Well, thank you so much. And why don't you guys get up and show the world how beautiful you guys look, and how...
and we love you, Victoria. Thank you so much for having us. It's so much fun, really
My
fun
pleasure.
To connect with you. Your family's awesome.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Thank you so
well,
much.
Thank you so much for sharing your story. I mean, this is really from a very young age, and a lot of people don't realize that the journey keeps going, and it doesn't end, and that you can really be a testament to what your mom has done,
As like her little guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Joke about that.
Even the second time might even be better with your kids. She'll be a grandmother to them, right?
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, we could see, we could fast forward to what happens later, because we never really know. Sometimes people come into this movement, we never really hear from them. But now that we have YouTube, we can hear what happens in the 20s, which is great.
Sure. And it's important, I think, that both of us, we went off and we had that time
That's
where we
very
were
important.
experimenting.
Yeah.
And that we were allowed to do that and to come back to it on our own. And I think that for mothers out there who are worried that their kids are going to go off, that they actually need to do that.
Right.
And that it's important in their own growth and their own evolution to do that.
And have faith in the power of fruit, because you'll always come back to it.
Yes, I agree.
It's true.
Hear, hear.
It's true.
Thank you so much, guys.
You.
Thank you.
Bye.